Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the Collector's Den. I am the Collector's Detective. Today, I am going to talk to you about a comic that I wasn't going to be talking about. It is Gwenpool Strikes Back. This is issue 3. So, issue 1 and 2, to give you a bit of background information. Issue 1 and 2 were okay. They weren't particularly good. They weren't particularly bad. They were just, they're alright. It's still a relatively new character. It's got a new team on it, and I wanted to give them some time to find their footing. The problem I have comes to this issue. So, the first 2 issues are very meta. Gwenpool talks about the fact that she has been cancelled twice before and she wants to be a mainstay. And at the moment, that's all she's trying to do. She just wants to prove herself, and also she wants to try and get a good cover. So, in the last 2 issues, this one and number 2, she's essentially just been trying to get a good cover. Now, not a big fan of this cover. Not a big fan of the last one, which I have. There we go. Yeah, that was the last one. Her kissing Reed Richards. So, as I said, this was a series that was just, it wasn't great, wasn't so bad. I needed to talk about it. But this issue has one very, 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 I find, offensive panel in here. And that's what I want to talk about. It starts off with Deadpool running after her, talking about, like them just discussing about how she can become a mainstay. She wants to then become a villain. She transports everyone to an island where they are then transported into their bikinis. Oh, look at that. And I turn to the actual page as well. So, here we have the varsity lineup and then the problematic panel that we have there. I hate using that term, but it is. So, as it says, the invented to be eye candy, but later given character development. Right, let's start unpacking that. So, you're saying that these characters were created just to be easy on the eye. Okay. First of all, let's talk about She-Hulk. Stan Lee created She-Hulk around the height of the 70s show of The Incredible Hulk. He created She-Hulk because he didn't want someone else creating a property like that and then taking the credit and taking it away from Marvel. So he came up with it himself. Don't see a problem with that. Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff. She was created, I think she was created by Stan again, as an Iron Man bad girl, who was in plain clothes, and she was pretty badass. Again, nothing too bad about that, really. Then we come to what I would say is the most offensive thing. To label Jessica Jones in with that crew. Now, for anyone who doesn't know the backstory of Jessica Jones, Brian Michael Bendis created Jessica Jones. He came to Marvel with a story saying, I've got a story about a character who has been pushed to the sidelines, suffering, how no other character really remembers her or really cares about what happened to her. And I want to do it with Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman. And Marvel heard what he had to say, heard the graphic detail that he was going to go into with her essentially sexual abuse, and they said, we cannot do that to one of our mainstay characters. It can't happen. You can have a Max series, which was Marvel's more adult series, and you can do that yourself, create your own character. So he created Jessica Jones to be a private detective with superpowers, very similar to the TV show, where she had a lot of stuff done to her that people didn't know about. And then it's her coming to grips with the fact that, well, in the comic, her coming to grips with the fact that the Avengers, the X-Men, all of these people didn't really know who she was, didn't care what was happening to her, and didn't save her. So to label her in with eye candy is deeply offensive. And for it to start saying how essentially there is a male gaze in comics and all of this is sexist, I find that incredibly wrong. Now, I don't know too much about Leah Williams as a writer, but I know she has written for Barbarella and Vampirella, two characters that were created to be eye candy. Why is she now reflecting that on Gwenpool? And not just Gwenpool, a lot of other characters. It winds me up. It really, really does, because there is no need. And again, front cover. Okay? She makes a comment in this, how Hulk is just about to come after her and hit her because she's just shot Bruce Banner in the head. And she looks at the audience and looks... Let me show you. Because this is... You cannot do something like this. And if she's trying to be ironic, it's not come across like that. It's really not. So, time for the cover shot. Give me a D-cup Terry. Then you want to start complaining about male gaze and sexism. Wrong way of doing it. Really, really wrong. Oh, wow, okay. That's kind of my rant over. Like I said, it wasn't a series that I really wanted to talk about. It was very hit and miss, but I was going to give it a go. I've given it 3 issues, and I thought, like I said, new creative team, still relatively new character, only about 3 years old, and she's a fun character. But something like that in it makes me think, I do not want to give you money. I would rather spend my money on getting something really good. As I've said before, there's Harleen from DC, fantastically written. So I am now wondering whether to even give this another issue or not. But that's where I stand. Guys, tell me what you think. Am I overreacting to this? Do you think it comes across as doing it ironically or trying to prove the point, and maybe I've missed it a little bit? Have you read it? Do you want to read it? Let me know down in the comments, and please don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.